What if I told you that the same activity that destroyed most people's mental health could actually be your greatest superpower? Right now, millions of people are suffering from loneliness that's literally as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But here's what they don't understand: there's a massive difference between being lonely and being in solitude. And this difference changed the lives of Jesus, Buddha, Nietzsche, and every great mind in history. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to transform your alone time from something you fear into your greatest tool for personal transformation. The hidden epidemic that's killing us slowly. Most people today are terrified of being alone with their thoughts. We've created a society where every moment of silence must be filled with notifications, entertainment, or social interaction. But here's the shocking truth that research has discovered: chronic loneliness creates the same health risks as smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Yet the greatest minds in history actively sought out solitude. Why? Because they understood something we've forgotten. Why Jesus chose 40 days in the desert over 40 days of fame. Before Jesus began his ministry, he didn't surround himself with followers or seek out crowds. He went into the desert for 40 days and nights, wrestling with his deepest fears and temptations in complete isolation. This wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Buddha, Moses, and Lao Tzu all followed similar paths. They discovered that the most profound spiritual and personal breakthroughs happen not in the noise of society, but in the silence of solitude. Nietzsche's shocking confession about society's corruption. Friedrich Nietzsche, one of history's most influential philosophers, made a startling admission: "When I am among the many, I live as the many do, and I do not think as I really think." He realized that society was literally stealing his authentic self. That's why he wrote, "I then require the desert so as to grow good again." Nietzsche understood that your truest thoughts, your most authentic self, can only emerge when you're free from the expectations and judgments of others. The freedom you can only discover alone. Arthur Schopenhauer revealed a profound truth: a man can be himself only so long as he is alone. Think about your last social interaction. How much of your behavior was authentic versus performed for others? In solitude, you're free from what philosopher Philip Koch called structures of demands, the constant need to listen, respond, and conform to others' expectations. You can cry, laugh, think, or simply exist without justification to anyone. The psychological trap most people never escape. Jean-Paul Sartre identified why we feel so constrained around others. The moment another person appears, you become an object in their consciousness. You start judging yourself through their imagined perspective. This is what he meant by hell is other people. But in solitude, this psychological prison disappears. You're free to explore your thoughts and emotions without the fear of judgment or the need to manage someone else's. Reactions. How solitude heals. What therapy cannot touch. Here's something most therapists won't tell you. Some of the deepest healing happens not in their office, but in the silence of your own presence. Japanese physician Shoma Morita developed a revolutionary therapy where patients spend up to a week in complete solitude. No books, no TV, no distractions. They're forced to confront their illness until they accept it completely. This isn't cruelty. It's the fastest path to genuine healing. The ancient wisdom modern society desperately needs. The Tarahumara Indians of Mexico had what researchers called almost a cult of solitude. 6-year-old boys would disappear alone, with sheep for weeks, returning transformed. Most ancient cultures included solitary quests as essential rites of passage. Young men spent months alone in the wilderness, learning to depend on their inner strength rather than external validation. Only after mastering solitude were they considered real men. Why your inability to be alone is destroying your life. Blaise Pascal made one of the most profound observations in human history. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. When you constantly flee from solitude into distractions, you never develop the inner strength necessary for real challenges. You become dependent on external stimulation and validation, making you weak and anxious when they're unavailable. The transformation that awaits you in silence. Admiral Richard Bard spent a winter alone in Antarctica, enduring brutal conditions that would break most people. But he emerged, saying, "My sense of values is changing, and many things which before were in solution in my mind now seem to be crystallizing." This is the gift of solitude. It clarifies what truly matters and burns away everything superficial. Call to action. Your journey to inner strength starts with a simple challenge. Spend just 30 minutes today in complete solitude. No phone, no music, no distractions. Sit with your thoughts and notice what emerges. This might feel uncomfortable at first. That's normal. You're training a muscle that society has taught you to neglect. If this video opened your eyes to the transformative power of solitude, subscribe for more life-changing wisdom that actually works. Hit the notification bell because next week we're diving into how Marcus Aurelius used solitude to become one of history's greatest leaders. And remember, your greatest strength isn't found in the crowd. It's discovered in the silence of your own presence. The question is, are you brave enough to meet yourself